This is wolf. This is sheep. Wolves have always eaten sheep. A flock of sheep once lived together in a beautiful green pasture. They would settle into sleep at night and awake in the morning to find out that one of them was gone, likely being served up to a wolf.
Otto was saddened by the rest of the flock's resignations to the wolf. "I have a dream," said Otto. "I dream of a day when not another sheep will ever die to become breakfast for a wolf."
That is absurd. We cannot stop the wolf. Remember the inspiring words of our ancestors? The wolf will come just as the sun will rise. And also, wolves, what jerks.
"Indeed, I believe we are to be commanded," said another sheep, "for we have prospered beneath the shadow of the wolf. Just look at how many of us there are." This made Otto even sadder. "As long as the wolf is present, our strong numbers tell us only a half-truth," said Otto. Otto continued, "We all say the wolf cannot be stopped, but how do we know this is true?"
It is true. Why? Even the fence that surrounds us cannot keep the wolves away. At first, it stopped them, but they must have learned to jump over it. Wolves learn very quickly.
"Then we must learn even more quickly," said Otto. "We must make learning an ongoing part of life in the flock. We will become a learning flock."
But we do learn. Why, just the other day, I learned to pull a thorn out of my hoof and my feet.
And I have learned to dig a hole. Watch this.
Oh, I can push rocks around with my nose to make a pile.
"This learning is a good start," said Otto, a little encouraged. "Ideas like this must be shared for the benefit of the flock, but..."
Perhaps we could sleep in a circle. Well, I think we could protect ourselves better if we slept in a huddle and not scattered all over the place. That way, when the wolves come, it'll be harder for them to get us.
But that doesn't really address the problem of the wolves,
said Marietta, a little lamb, but no one heard her. The sheep were too excited by Curly's idea.
Yes! Tonight we will huddle against a wolf. Learning might be a good idea after all.
Otto was frustrated by the sheep's attempt at learning, which to him seemed awfully reactionary, but he felt relieved to see them at least united in purpose. This was a good first step, the least I can do, he thought, is stay awake tonight and keep guard while they sleep.
The next morning, Otto was gone.
Otto was a good sheep. He showed us a vision of a better day. He had a fleece as white as snow.
But the mood soon turned sour.
Those wolves! This is all their fault! What are we supposed to do? The wolves are smart, and they are strong, and they cannot be stopped. Our lives would be so much better if there were no wolves. If only that stupid fence were taller, so the wolves could not jump over it.
The flock sat there, dejected and miserable. Finally, Marietta, the little lamb, spoke again.
How come all the wolves only come sometimes and not all the time?
Everyone stopped. They looked confused.
If wolves are smart and they can jump over the fence anytime they want, how come they don't come every night?
The others looked even more confused.
I mean, all I'm saying is that maybe the wolves aren't as unstoppable as we think. Something is stopping them. Otto said this before, we must learn and we must do it together.
We tried being a learning flock already, and look where it got Otto. That's because we've only just started. Look at what just happened. We started something different, but the result we got were the same. What does that tell you?
It tells me we need to learn how to learn differently. We can start by doing 3 things. 1. Remember Otto's vision. Someday, not another sheep will ever die because of wolves. If we keep that in mind, I think we'll know what to do. 2. Let's take stock of what we believe. 3. Let's figure out how to do things differently. What do we have to do to stop the wolves? What is it like to be a wolf? Let's share everything we know with each other.
The meeting adjourned, and the sheep all went their separate ways, lost in thought. Some of the sheep struggled with what Marietta had said. but some of the sheep took what Marietta said to heart. The sheep shared all their thoughts. They discussed the strange timing of wolf-related casualties and how they seemed to decrease after hard rains and increase during hot and dry periods. Just talking about these things energized the flock and gave them hope.
Follow me! Hurry!
Confused, the sheep ran off after her.
Look, I was looking around for answers, and I found this. But I don't know what it means. I got it! The wolves aren't going over the fence. They're going under it. That makes sense. When there's a drought, there's no water going under a fence. That's when the wolves crawl under. And after it rains, there's too much water and the wolves can't go under.
I think it is true that we can control the weather, but we can't control the flow of the water. Watch this. After saying this, Gigi began to dig a hole.
Don't just stand there. Everybody help!
The sheep got even more excited. Soon, a small pond began to form around the fence.
I'm glad we became a learning flock. It feels good to know that we'll never have to go through anything like that ever again.
But best of all, the wolves stopped coming. The sheep stopped disappearing, and the fear was gone.